What's up, Eagles fans? Welcome into the All-22 review driven by AAA. I'm Fran Duffy. Eagles win 17-9 at home against the Dallas Cowboys. A must-win game for the Eagles as they keep their postseason hopes alive. They now take control of the NFC East, and they go into a week against New York where if they win, they are in the playoffs and they win the division for the first time since 2017. Just an awesome team victory from this Eagles team. A lot of plays we're going to cover on both sides of the ball. But why don't we start at the very top? Huge catch here on the very first play of the game. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is going to make this catch on what is called a dagger concept. And what is a dagger route? Dagger is a two-man route concept where you're going to get the inside receiver, the slot receiver, working vertically down the field, try and lift coverage, take it away from the intended target, which is going to be your outside receiver, your number one receiver, running an in cut at about, we'll say, 8 to 15 yards, somewhere in that range. Here you're going to see Arcega-Whiteside at about the 20-yard range try and catch this ball over the middle of the field. Now, one of the nice little wrinkles we see from the Eagles on this play is the way they get to it, because you're going to get Carson Wentz off play action, and one of the things you're going to see is they're going to pull Isaac Seumalo, the left guard, from left to right, and really sell this run action really hard. The Eagles don't typically use the guards as pullers on these little fake play action plays. And you're going to see here as we let this run, we're going to take it right up to the top of the drop for Carson Wentz. As soon as he hits his back foot there at the top, we freeze it, and you can see Greg Ward taking the top off the defense. You could see the linebacker, Jalen Smith. He's running here. The safety is held in the middle of the field. Here's Arcega-Whiteside running the dig behind it. So you've got this nice void in the middle of the field about to be opened up. These two linebackers, the underneath defenders, they're not sure where this ball's going. Carson Wentz has a very well-defined window to put this ball in, and he hits the rookie, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, for a first down. Great catch behind his body. Not really a perfect throw there from Carson, but his rookie comes in for him on the back end of this catch, comes up with a big grab, 27 yards and a first down. All right, we fast forward a couple of plays later, and Carson Wentz was perfect on third down on this opening drive. Eagles go for a field goal. Before we get to Jake Elliott's kick, though, we need a big third down conversion from J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And that's going to come here on 3rd and 10. You're going to get both he and Zach Ertz running little routes just past the sticks, kind of little post-stop routes from the right side of the field. So Carson Wentz is going to drop back, and he's hoping to hit them. But I want you to look at one big block here that comes from Boston Scott. He's lined up in the slot. He's going to give them a little short motion, give them an idea of whether they're going to see man or zone coverage. But after the motion, he's just going to chip on DeMarcus Lawrence and really takes Lawrence out of his rush. And that's going to allow Carson Wentz time to be able to break the pocket. And we'll let this run here. And you can see that Carson Wentz is going to take the snap. There's the short motion from Boston Scott. Keep an eye on Scott here as he's going to lay this really nice block on DeMarcus Lawrence, completely take him out. Now, they're running a three-man game here inside, Dallas is. So Carson Wentz is going to face that pressure right in his face. So Carson now has to break the pocket. Now we get into the scramble drill rules here on the outside. So J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, he's working back to the football. As soon as he sees Carson break out of the pocket, he now has to get to the sideline. You're going to see both these guys in sync here. We're going to let this run. Carson Wentz, as soon as he breaks to his right, you're going to see J.J. sees that. He's got a lot of room outside the numbers there towards the sideline. Carson lays it out for him, and J.J. comes up with another big catch for a first down. So two big plays to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside on the opening drive results in a field goal. Jake Elliott puts the Eagles up 3-0 to start the game. All right, let's now go to the defense. And the defense started strong in this game. Just a couple of field goals in the first half, and the Eagles go into the locker room ahead 10-6, but 3 and out on the opening drive. And the defense did a great job. This is the first third down of the game. The Eagles in man-to-man coverage. You're going to see here, you've got 3 over 3 to the boundary side at the top of the screen. It's going to be cover 1 robber. You've got Rodney McLeod lining up right here to take away any in-breaking route. Here's your last one-on-one matchup on the outside with Ronald Darby. So I want you to keep an eye here on this matchup. You've got Amari Cooper lined up as the number 1 wide receiver, and you've got Malcolm Jenkins lined up man-to-man against him in this bunch set. Cooper is going to run a crossing route across the middle of the field, and once Dak Prescott takes the snap, we can let this run. He is locked in on Amari Cooper. He really wants number 19 here on this play. He doesn't see that Jalen Mills falls down. He gets tripped up here in coverage. Jason Witten's going to break wide open. This double move out of the slot to Randall Cobb is going to break wide open. He does not see it because he's locked in on Amari Cooper. Malcolm Jenkins understands that he's got a little bit of help, not only from the post safety, but Rodney McLeod here as the robber. So now he feels the faith here to be able to undercut this route, get underneath it. We can let this play run, and you're going to see Malcolm, again, trusting the coverage, trusting his teammates around him, is able to get a paw on there, get the ball to the ground. Eagles get off the field, force a punt in the opening drive. All right, Eagles are up now 3-0, and on their second drive, they go right down the field. You get a couple of big plays from Miles Sanders. They get into the low red zone, and they go to one of their most reliable routes down in that area of the field, a stick nod route for a touchdown to Dallas Goedert. But this is a really good play design, and we're going to start here. You're going to see it's 12 personnel, a YY set, two tight ends lined up right next to each other, close to the formation. You've got two receivers to the top of the screen. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, who's going to end up running kind of a skinny post here into the middle of the field, and then also Greg Ward, and he's going to be a very important piece of this play. He is going to be the eye candy for Carson Wentz because he was a big receiver for them last week, especially down in the red zone. He's going to pretend as if he's coming in to catch this screen pass. We're going to let this run for a sec, and you're going to see right when Carson is preparing to take the snap, watch Greg Ward. He throws those hands up, and Carson Wentz throws that pump fake. Look at the Dallas defenders, eyes all into the slot, looking at Greg Ward. The guy that they want to make sure they occupy is this free safety here, Xavier Woods. They want his eyes right there on number 84, because on the backside of this play, you're going to see that they're running, again, that stick nod route where you've got Dallas Goedert pretending he's going to run a little stick route to the sideline, then he's going to bust it to the post. This nod portion of the route, he's gotten so much better over the course of the last couple of years at running this route. You need to be really patient. Don't rush it. Don't speed your way through it. You really need to sell this route. Make sure that all these defenders buy that you're heading to the sideline, and then sell it right up to the post. Now, you're going to see when Carson Wentz comes back to this side of the field, you're going to have to put this up really, really high. Into this area of the field, you need to put it up high above the face mask. Don't give this guy the opportunity to make the play on the ball. We can let this run. This was a perfect throw from number 11. He puts this up over the linebacker, Sean Lee, away from the safety, Xavier Woods. Only Dallas Goedert can make this play. Number 88 comes down with a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Eagles go up 10-0. All right, so Eagles up 10-6 at halftime, and we go early third quarter. The Cowboys get the ball, and they're moving. They're in a really good rhythm offensively. They've strung together 4 or 5 first downs on that drive. They get into Eagles territory. The Eagles defense in the shadow of their own goalpost. What do they get? They get a huge run stop, and this was a huge play that got the ball back to the Eagles offense. A forced fumble by Fletcher Cox, recovered by Malcolm Jenkins. Huge play. To me, the turning point of this entire game, and this was a great overall team run defense play, because we're going to see here the Eagles in a heavy package, okay? You've got 4 defensive linemen on the field with 1, 2, 3, 4 linebackers. So you've got heavy personnel in the game. Eagles obviously expecting run. And this is going to be what's called a speed option play, where Dak Prescott is going to go to his left, and he's going to read off of the defensive end. If the defensive end crashes down, he's going to pitch it out into the flat to the running back, Pollard. So this is how the play is going to work. We're going to let this run here for a second, and you're going to see exactly how these blocks develop early on. They're going to try and get Tyron Smith out to the play side linebacker. Again, they're going to leave Derek Barnett unblocked. He is Dak Prescott's man. So on the backside of this, you're going to see Fletcher Cox is going to try and get reached by the right guard. You've got a double team here on Tim Jernigan at the point of attack. So the 2 big players here to start this play off are going to be number 1, Derek Barnett, because he's going to explode into the backfield and force the issue. He forces Dak Prescott to pitch this immediately. Let's let this run, and you're going to see exactly that. Derek Barnett gets inside, forces that, and now you've got Duke Riley, who does an outstanding job of being very, very disciplined on this play, because if he comes downhill too hard and attacks this inside out and tries to pull Pollard down, Pollard can just run away from him and get outside, or he can just flat out just miss the tackle. He does a great job of making sure that he comes out outside in, forcing Pollard to go back, because look at all these green jerseys. You've got Fletcher Cox, who refuses to be blocked here. You've got Tim Jernigan coming from the backside. There's Nate Gary. There's TJ Edwards. These guys are all starting to flow to the football. Malcolm Jenkins is back there as well. So Duke Riley does a great job of corralling the running back here. We let this play. Tony Pollard is going to cut this back inside. Now you've got all these hats to the football. Fletcher Cox gets the ball on the ground. Fletcher Cox, by the way, just back from injury, playing this play with basically one arm. Gets the ball on the ground. Malcolm Jenkins recovers it. Huge play for this Eagles defense. A turnover gets the Eagles the ball back, and they get moving to score some points going the other way. All right, so a little bit later in the game, late third quarter, the Eagles still up by 4 points. Very tight game at this point. Eagles get the ball just shy of midfield. They're right shy of the 45-yard line. And off play action, they're going to attack deep with what is called a post wheel. A nice shot play concept where you're going to get J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He's going to run the post, and then you're going to get a wheel route from Greg Ward down the right sideline. And what you're really trying to do is, if you've got cover 3, you're trying to put this corner in a bind, and if it's man coverage, you're hoping that Greg Ward is just going to run away from this guy in man-to-man. Now, you've got an idea pre-snap. This is probably zone coverage. Why? Because you've got a linebacker and Malcolm Smith lined up one-on-one with Greg Ward. So pre-snap, Carson Wentz is looking. He has an idea this is going to be zone coverage. You have an idea that this is going to be cover 3. So that puts really the importance here on the corner, Jordan Lewis. He is responsible for anything in this third of the field, particularly in the deep part of the field. So this really is going to come down to Jordan Lewis. How is he going to handle these two routes in his direction? Because he is responsible right here in this area. So let's let this play out. Let's see how Jordan Lewis decides to play it. He drops back. He's playing pure cover 3 technique. You see how he opens with his back to the sideline. You could see that the corner on the other side, Byron Jones is doing the same thing. Everybody else, they're all in zone coverage. This is cover 3 across the board. The only guy who doesn't play in cover 3 technique is going to be Jordan Lewis. And Carson Wentz sees that, because as soon as J.J. Arcega-Whiteside runs to the post, Jordan Lewis runs with him. He carries him. And as soon as Carson sees that, he knows that this wheel route is going to be uncontested down the sideline. So let's let this play. And you can see, as soon as Carson sees it, he pulls that trigger. He saw that Jordan Lewis was inside the numbers, got the ball to Greg Ward. He's wide open, running away from a linebacker. It's a busted coverage. Eagles get into the red zone. Huge play in this game that helps swing the tide in the Eagles' favor. One of the biggest plays of the day for the Eagles offense. All right, so a few plays later, the Eagles now inside the 5-yard line. I'm going to be honest. Watching this play on TV, I'm sitting there saying, this is going to be a touchdown run to Miles Sanders. The Eagles have the numbers exactly how they want, because when you're looking here at this box, this is a 7-man box down in the goal line. It's pretty wide spread out. You like the spacing here, defense or offensively, looking at this from the defense, because you've got 6 blockers up front. And again, 7 on 6 in favor of the defense. You think, all right, this is in favor of the Cowboys. But when you run inside zone read, which is what the Eagles have done a number of times already in this game, you've seen Carson Wentz keep this and run. Now you've got the ability to get the numbers back in your advantage, because it's not just 6 on 7, it's actually 8 on 7, because now the Cowboys don't have the helmets here to be able to match up man on man with Carson Wentz and the Eagles offense. And we're going to see exactly how this looks, because really right now what you've got is these 2 blockers work up to the backside defensive tackle and the linebacker. Jason Kelce is one-on-one with the nose. That's going to be the most important block of this play. You've got another double team here, and you've got the tight end working on the defensive end play side. Like I said, though, the key block on this play is Jason Kelce one-on-one with the nose tackle. I want you to see exactly what he does to number 99, Antoine Woods. We'll let this play, and you're going to see the job that Kelce does of just taking him where he wants to go. The defensive tackle crosses his face. All he does is allow him to go exactly where he wants to go, and then help create the seal. Look at this alley here that now Miles Sanders has to work. Carson Wentz is reading off the defensive end. The defensive end doesn't crash immediately inside, so he's going to hand this ball off to Miles Sanders. We can let it run. Everything else holds up from a block standpoint, and Miles Sanders gets in for one of his easier touchdowns of the 2019 season. Well blocked up front. Huge block by Jason Kelce. Eagles take a commanding 17-6 lead. It's crunch time now. Late in the game, Eagles up 17-9. It's 4th down, and the defense needs to come up with one final play. Can they get off the field in crunch time? Obviously, if you're watching this, you know that they do. The guy on the receiving end of this big play is Sidney Jones, who's lined up here at right corner for this Eagles defense. The play call on 4th and long is going to be pretty simple. It's going to be cover 1 robber. And what you've got here with the Eagles in their dime defense with 6 defensive backs on the field, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 defensive backs on the field. They're going to play 1 robber where you've got one high safety, that's Marcus Epps in the middle of the field. Then you've got Rodney McLeod, who's going to play right here in the short intermediate area, and that gives you man-to-man coverage across the board. And the matchup that the Cowboys are looking to attack is Michael Gallup one-on-one with Sidney Jones. Let's just let this play. We'll play it all the way through here, and you're going to see the job that Sidney Jones does in his man-to-man coverage technique, because the ball is snapped. He's going to drop into his pedal. He's going to turn and run with the vertical route. Again, Gallup is just running down the sideline. We can let this run again. He's going to turn and run with the vertical route, look and lean, feel like he's in phase, turn and find the football, and get his hands to the catch point. If he does not turn and find the football there, it's probably a flag, and the Cowboys have the ball on the 1-yard line. Sidney Jones played that perfectly, gets the ball on the ground. Eagles nearly secure the victory. And the reason why I said that they nearly secure the victory is that the Eagles offense still needed to run out the clock. Dallas had all 3 of their timeouts. You had a key completion from Carson Wentz to Dallas Goedert on 2nd down that moved the chains. The Eagles get an extra set of downs, and then you get the final play, the dagger, this run by Miles Sanders. You can see here in the backfield another big day for the rookie running back. But I want you to see how the offensive line handles this blitzing scheme up front for Dallas, and then also the patience and vision from Miles Sanders on this play, because it's a crucial down. Obviously, Dallas knows the Eagles are running the football here, so they call a run blitz here to the strong side. That means you're going to have Antoine Woods. He's going to cross the face of Jason Kelce. Michael Bennett, the former Eagle, he's going to slide into the B gap, and Sean Lee is going to slide into the C gap. So you've got a bunch of guys moving here, a lot of post-snap movement here from the Cowboys defense. And I thought that the Eagles offensive line, these 3 right here, Jason Kelce, Brandon Brooks, and Arcega-whiteside, handled it extremely well. Let's let the snap play out, and we'll see exactly how they handled this run blitz from the Cowboys. And you can see here, Brandon Brooks, he's got one-on-one here with Bennett. Arcega-whiteside, he recognizes the run blitz, and he peels off and does a nice job of getting on Lee. Jason Kelce, he feels Woods cross his face, and he just leans into him and takes him exactly where he wants to go, rides his momentum. He takes him out of the picture. So now, ultimately, it's 2 versus 2 on the play side. Michael Bennett versus Brooks, Big V against Sean Lee. And what I love here is that Miles Sanders feels this. He's going to put his foot in the ground and play right off of the backside of Brandon Brooks on this play, because he sees Michael Bennett sitting there in the B gap, right between the guard and the tackle. If he just goes right here, puts his head down, this goes for a yard, maybe 2, maybe he churns ahead for 3 or 4. But instead, he shows faith in both Brooks and Kelce, busts this back into the A gap. We'll let this play out, and you're going to see Brandon Brooks, he rides Bennett out, and you've got Miles Sanders going through the A gap. Huge play, great FBI football intelligence as well from Miles Sanders of sliding, just saying, you know what, let's end this game. Let's put it on ice. Game is over. Eagles win. Awesome team victory from this Eagles team. You saw great plays on both sides of the football. No turnovers offensively. You had a huge, great game from the Eagles defense as well. 3 of 14, the Dallas offense on 3rd down. This was the #1 3rd down offense in the league coming into the game. Outstanding job on 3rd down. The run defense against Ezekiel Elliott was outstanding. Under 50 yards rushing for Zeke, 3.6 yards per carry. Offensively, Carson Wentz had one of the best games of his career in the biggest game of his career. We're going to break it all down here on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast, fueled by Gatorade, with myself and Greg Cosell. You can see that Tuesday morning wherever podcasts can be found. Eagles game plan this week. We will have Doug Peterson on the show. We will break down everything for the Eagles must-win game on the road against the New York Giants on Sunday afternoon. A ton that we'll be breaking down here on a holiday week in the NovaCare complex here covering the Eagles. But thank you for joining us once again here on the All-22 review, driven by AAA. We will see you here next Sunday, Eagles versus Giants.